Hi, Big Tractor Power fans. This video comes to you from a farm here in Western Kentucky, and I'm here with someone that's pretty famous in tractors and farm machinery, Machinery Pete. Welcome to Kentucky. We're really glad to have you here for Dale C's auction, and it's got some really nice sound guards. I'm sure they'll do quite well.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come back to Kentucky. Jason, always fun to catch up with you, my man.
Well, thank you for what you do for the industry, and I was excited to see. I saw your post on Instagram that you're going to be here at the farm today, and you're holding a tractor set that I made for my Toy Tractor Times
This is amazing.
magazine.
Amazing.
And I was excited because I like rare tractors, and we've got a two-wheel drive 4560 behind you, which is rare.
It will be fun to watch this thing sell tomorrow.
But you had posted about this 2+2, the first serial number 6788, which those have a red cab, but the first one had a white cab. I saw that on your Instagram 3 years ago, and I thought that would be a cool tractor to make. So we can see it down here in the box.
These are so beautiful.
In 1/64 scale, and I just wanted to bring that out to thank you for what you do to promote the sale of tractors and the knowledge of what they're worth today.
Well, back at you, my friend, and congrats on your milestone with subscribers and views you just passed with Big Tractor Power. Amazing, and again, thank you for what you do and how you do it, Jason.
Well, thank you. And so, what is your work do? How did you originally start in sharing the prices in these auctions?
Well, my dad was a third-generation John Deere dealer in a little town in Benson, Minnesota, where I grew up. So I was an accountant by trade coming out of college, Jason, and figured out I kind of didn't like accounting and was, just a young guy, 23 years old. And my wife and I, Jackie, had just got married and moved to Rochester, and I was looking for an accounting job. And it was right at that point, 1989, my dad called me up and he said, "Hey, Greg, come home to Benson. I want to show you something." And there was actually a banker down the road in Morris, Minnesota, that had started this auction price book in the middle of the 80s in the Farm Crunch because the bank needed hard cash valuations. And my dad, as a dealer, got this book and he did not love what stuff was selling for back then because it was obviously a brutal time, but he liked knowing. And there wasn't good information back then. And the guy that started it he didn't have time to do it anymore. And I was moving, looking for a job. My dad slid this auction price book across the cafe table, and he said, "Take a look at this thing." So I'm 23 years old, and I said, "Well, this is kind of cool." And he goes, "There's something here." And so all I did, Jason, was just listen to my father. And I was 23.
That's always a good thing to do.
I tell young farmers, that's the number one thing. Listen to your folks and your grandparents and your aunts and uncles because they've been through stuff, they know stuff. So I trusted my dad, and I just set sail. And just like you built your business over the decades, it takes time. So we put out the auction book, and then of course, the internet came along. We put a website up in 2000. We're here filming for our TV show. I didn't know anything about TV. I just knew people were interested in, what's this going to sell for? And so it's been fun compiling the prices. And again, just thank you for everyone out there for following along all these years.
So with your long experience in this, we were talking about kind of what 8850s and John Deere 4960s, and we've got some 55s that are sitting over here that are bringing so good money today. What would your top three most exciting sales be, or what are the really hot tractors out there?
Well, it's interesting, Jason. Good question. Now we're in Kentucky. Last time I was in Kentucky for an auction was I think it was October 28th last year, 2023. And if you ask me about favorite auctions I've covered or this era of tractors, it was actually a sale by the same auction company, Taylor Auction Company, Gary Allen Taylor and the crew do an awesome job. And that sale was for I think kind of a retired, he's an orthodontist, Dr. John Gray, in Winchester, Kentucky. And the favorite picture I've ever taken at an auction, I was standing behind a 4455 with like 3,500 hours, next to a 4960 with about 3,200 hours. And the 4455 went for $97,850, just smashed the record price. And right next to it, the 4960 went for, I think, like 134, went 20,000 over the record. But the guy that bought the 4455 was from the state of Washington. He had a 150-acre hay farm, and he had seen our post that we were going to be down at the auction. And he loves 55 series. That's what he likes to. He doesn't want a new tractor when he's out haying. He wants what he liked when he was a kid. So he ran up to me the morning of the auction when we showed up, and he goes, "Machinery Pete." He goes, "I came here for three reasons. I wanted to meet you and talk to you. I want to buy that 4455 and I want you to sign it. And when you have that level of motivation on the front of an auction,
That's a good sign.
he's going to buy it. And Tim, I think his last name was Knudsen, just an awesome guy. And but that's been the fun, Jason, all these years going to the auctions. It's fun, you know, again, to see what this stuff sells for and talk about that, but also just the people, as you found with what you do. It's you know, it's the farmers and the dealers and the auctioneers. Everyone has a story, and it's an honor to share them.
Oh, it's great to watch. And any big four-wheel drives that have been real standouts or in your memory that have sold? Or?
Well, I think there was the series. Well, of course, you know, the 80-20s, what's happened there have just been unbelievable. I know Miko, you know, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember what I mean, it was unbelievable what they were getting up to selling. The whole rare four-wheel drive, like you're on here, these things have taken off. So, I mean, I think of those internationals, the 73, the 75 88, and the 77 88. Well,
Yes.
I think they only made 3 of each, right?
Right, 1981, 2 of each, one with a 3-point, one a bareback.
Okay. So I know there was a sale up, I want to say Manitoba. It was either Manitoba or Ontario. I apologize to our Canadian, your many Canadian viewers.
I think it was Manitoba, so I thought that was it was much
Manitoba.
farther away than I've ever traveled, and I thought I'd love to see that tractor,
Did
but
you go to that auction?
I did not. I watched it through you.
And it was I believe it was there was some dealer connection back in the family, but they had a 73 and a 77. I think.
Yes.
And they bought astronomical money. But the cool thing, again, back to the people, is that a day or two after that video posted, when they sold, my friend Dan Sullivan with Sullivan Auctioneers was working on a sale in Iowa, trying to get the sale lined up, and he looked over across the pasture, and he was like, "What's that?" On the new fence room, and it was a 75 80. He drove up and he couldn't believe it, because we had said in the video, you know, there's only a couple of each of these made, and that was, I think, the first one. And so that, you know, Sullivan's, of course, doing an awesome job. They got the word out, told the story, and then we had the video of Dan selling it for, you know, whatever it was, 150-some thousand bucks. So again, the rareness, the story, and how these tractors could be almost, back in the day, they were like, these, you know, like the first John Deeres are like, nobody, these things are junk, whatever. And now they're just absolute collector items.
Oh, it's amazing what they're bringing. So many of these tractors are selling for more than they originally did, or 50-year-old tractors bringing a little bit more than they were new. That's a good investment on a farm's part.
Just this morning we're talking here, I posted a sale coming up next week in North Dakota by Ulmer Auction Service in Ashley, North Dakota. I'm going through the sale and they've got 150 tractors or whatever, and there's a STEIGER 1700 barn series. I'm
getting a lot of texts about that. People are saying, "What do you think that's going to bring?" Right. I know several STEIGER collectors.
Yep. So again, it's fun to find the needles in the haystack like that. And one of my other favorite ones was a sale that Amon had years ago. It was a John Deere 4000, not a four-wheel drive, but it was a sale in Corcoran, Minnesota. And so Kurt Amon is up there, you know, getting the sale ready. And same deal, he looks over and he goes, "Well, okay, all these things you're selling in the auction, but what's that tractor?" And the guy goes, "It's my crappy John Deere 4000. Kurt, you know, obviously, Amon Vintage Power, you know, all this stuff. He goes over and he looks at it, and he comes back to the owner and he goes, "You know what you got there?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, it's my manure loader. It's a piece of crap." He goes, No, because that's a gas power shift. There's only 9 of those. And it brought 82.5 on the auction. Which was, and that was like 8-9 years ago or something.
Pretty good upgrade.
Yeah, and again, the farmer, God bless him, he just didn't know, you know, it was just he used it to work. So the bits of history on those rare production models are fascinating.
It's very good. Well, I appreciate your time today, and we're glad to have you in Kentucky. Where can people watch you on television, and what are your social media?
Well, just Machinery Pete, type that in, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And then our TV show is on RFD every Saturday, 12:30 Central, and it re-airs Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central. And it's on like 55 affiliates around the country, so I'm not sure down here in Kentucky what station it might be on. But thank you, folks, for watching. I really appreciate it. We
appreciate RFD because it's just down the road in Nashville.
There you go. Well, it's a great channel, and I knew when that came out all those years ago, it's like, I think we need to do an auction show. But I didn't have any money, and it's like, dang, we just got to do it. Sometimes it's been fun to build it out over the years. We're in season 12 now, so we just have a lot of fun. But again, thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you. We appreciate it.